We've made it to the west coast of Scotland, and with the Open just around the corner, it's time for Rules from Royal Troon. Joining me from the R&A Rules team is Connor Finlay. Connor, let's wind back the clock to 1997 when a fresh face, Tiger Woods, teed it up at the Open Championship. Now this tee shot's scary at any time, but what did Tiger get up to?
Opening hole here at Royal Troon, par 4, short but very intimidating, heavily bunkered, very well guarded. One that, players might want to take a risk and try hitting driver and maybe go for the green, but knowing that there is very much a risk involved there.
What a drama this is.
Well, Connor, it looks like Tiger's been playing a bit of tennis from greenside bunker to greenside bunker, and he's found himself right next to Bernard Langer's ball. What's the simple thing he does here? Because this must happen heaps in links golf.
Yeah, really common actually, George. One of the kind of very common ruling that we have during the Open, and just given the nature of the bunkers on links courses, little pot bunkers, everything gathers in, but something that I think happens a lot just in everyday golf. So, two balls close together in the bunker, one might be hit, one's interfering, so what we can do is we can mark that ball in and move it out the way.
So this is Tiger's on the left, and he's been really precise. Is it much like on the green where you mark your ball as is and then replace it exactly where it goes?
Yeah, so we just want to mark that exact spot of the ball and then we can lift it. But as you'll see in the clip, Tiger, he's got to be very careful he doesn't clean the ball, and he actually has the ball placed just outside the bunker on the ground.
So I can't move that, I can't put it in my pocket, can't do anything.
No, you're not allowed to clean the ball. If you did, you'd get a one-stroke penalty. So to be careful and to make sure, he has just put it on the ground.
Okay, that's actually a nice little rule to know. Right, so I've just placed that back there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't move.
Tiger Woods' ball. It's marked there by that little white peg.
All right, Connor, let's try and reenact Bernard. Okay, so now we've done this. What happens if I actually hit Tiger's peg in that scenario?
If you'd hit the peg, then ultimately what we'll do is we're just going to put the peg back, would estimate exactly where it was, because Tiger has to replace the ball back on its original spot. But the other option is, if the two balls are that close and there's a strong chance that the peg might have been hit in the first place, Tiger could have measured out to the side, either a club head or even a club length, just to allow us to put the ball back.
Nice. All right, well that's a good rule to know, especially for people at home. So let's rake this up and get Tiger's ball back in play. Careful though, be very careful. Do not clean said golf ball.
So, as you can see in the video, Tiger's entitled to the conditions he had, so we're just restoring the original lie for him.
So can I get quite cheeky here and find the best place of sand, or is it?
No, he's going to be putting that ball right back where it was. What you'll see in the video as well is that there was this little channel that Tiger's ball was in, and that was a detail that he had to be aware of. And obviously the ruling was overseen by the late great John Paramore, who had seen obviously plenty of these situations and had everything well under control.
Nice. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Tiger can get out of here on this risk-reward hole with a good result. Well, Connor, we've seen better lies, and Ernie Els had to face this one in 2004 in his final round.
Well done.
He decided to go baseball styles. What are the other options?
So George, if a player doesn't want to play the ball as it lies, then they have unplayable ball relief under penalty of 1 stroke. So 3 options there. So first option, stroke and distance, go back to where they last played from. Second option would be back on the line relief, so taking the point, from the flag through this point and going back as far as they want, dropping the ball on that line.
Not into the gorse, we don't want that.
The third option would be lateral relief, so you're 2 club length. Obviously the ball here is elevated, so what we would do is we would identify the point at ground level, and measure 2 club lengths from there, no nearer the hole, using the longest club in the bag except the putter.
Alrighty. Well, I think Ernie's idea looked the most enjoyable, so I'm probably going to give that a crack.
Okay.
I think you should move out of the way.
No problem, it'll save yourself a shot, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Might save your life too. Righto. Bit of baseball, bit of shinty. Here we go. Connor, we've made it to the railway hole, one of the hardest here at Troon. Just how difficult is this hole into the prevailing wind?
Yeah, so the 11th hole here at Royal Troon, the hardest hole during the 2016 Open, and I mean, you can really see why. Just fraught with danger, out of bounds all the way down the right-hand side. We've got the boundary wall here, so anything over that wall is out of bounds and gone.
Is this wall a bit like St Andrews, the road hole? Can you play up against it, or can you get relief?
There's no free relief from this wall. It is a boundary object, so the player would have to, play the ball as it lies or take unplayable relief.
Those train tracks are scarily close, and back in 2020, Marina Alex, she didn't end up at the wall, she ended up by the tree.
Can't have been much fun standing on that first hole, remembering your tee shot yesterday, can it? So, good on her.
Oh my goodness, she is completely stumped there.
She's going to take a low lofted club, or a short iron. Looks like she wants to chip it into the tree stump in the hope that it ricochets back onto the green.
Was she after a drop or something, or asking what she has to do when she drops?
Well, it's disappointing. I was hoping we were going to see something reminiscent of Jimenez off the road hole wall. I thought that might have been what we got to witness, but it's a drop, and that's probably the smart play.
Well, Connor, there was a lot of oohing and ahhing in the commentary. What were the simple options for her to take there?
So, I mean, as you can see, she did take a drop. She could have played it live, but she took a drop. Used her lateral relief. Her other 2 options under unplayable for penalty 1 stroke would have been stroke and distance, so going back to where she last played from, or taking back on the line relief.
Well, it sounded like the commentators wanted the fun option, which is to play it off against the tree. So I did the last one out of the bush. You're up. Chance to see if he can walk the talk. Talk the walk?
Hit the shot?
Yeah, hit the shot. Don't break my club. Oh, not bad.
Rules official helping out Phil Mickelson here. Looks like David Williams from the European Tour. Van's down there. Van, can you enlighten us what's going on?
Not entirely, no. The ball's moved somehow. I'm not sure if it moved after he put it down, but he was certainly not showing any signs that anything had happened.
Yeah, we got a good view of it there. Every time he put it back down, it was falling backwards.
So for the people at home, this might be a tricky one. What is the current situation with Phil here?
So in this situation for Phil back in 2016, his ball just simply wasn't coming to rest when he was trying to replace it on the green. So what he does is he tries to replace it a second time, and if it still doesn't come to rest just because of the slope, then he just finds the nearest point where the ball will come to rest and plays from there.
Perfect. Mark away, job done.
Yep.
Oh, another thing that I guess would happen here a lot is balls oscillating on the green with the wind, because we love links golf for that reason, don't we?
Yeah, the wind, the big factor on links golf courses, and we do often get rulings about the ball being blown by the wind. Under the rules now, if a player's marked, lifted in and replaced the ball, if that ball moves by anything, if the player accidentally moves it or the wind blows it to a new position, then the player must put the ball back on its original spot. And there's no penalty, but that ball must go back on the spot.
Nice. Well, Connor, we can't do any video at Royal Troon without visiting the Postage Stamp. It's such a famous hole, and to be here is very cool. Tell me a little bit about it, because it's a little shorty.
It is. It's the shortest hole on in the open rota, 123 yards it's going to play this year, but we have played it as short as 100 yards in the past.
Wow, and that means Royal Troon also has not only the shortest, but the longest hole as well.
It does. So hole 6 is 623 yards this year, so again, yeah, the longest hole on the open rota.
This might be a dumb question, but is there any restrictions to how long a hole can be? Is there a reason why it can't be 50 metres long?
No, nothing at all. It's really entirely up to the committee and however long they want the hole to be.
Very nice. Well, you can stand up here. I'm not sure you can feel the wind through the lens, but there's been so much history on this hole and all over the course. Why don't we go see some of the holes in one that have happened here?
Only else at the 8th, Postage Stamp. One of the most famous par 3s in the world, 122 yards today. Oh, there we go. Ernest Els. What about that?
Legendary Gene Sallison makes a sentimental return to compete. Despite his advancing years, he proves at the famous Postage Stamp 8th that he's lost none of his magic. Another golden moment from the Open.
So you've seen all the highlights, but now it's time for maybe some lowlights. The coffin bunker, so scary, so intimidating, and you can find yourself in here for one rather than in the hole. Connor, I've got a crazy, stupid lie here. What on earth do I do? Because it might not be the smartest thing to play the shot.
Yeah, George, it's not looking great for you there. So I mean, if you don't want to play it, then obviously you have unplayable relief options here. And when you're in a bunker, you have 4 relief options in total.
Okay.
So you have your usual 3 for penalty of 1 stroke. So stroke in distance, back on the line or lateral. But back on the line and lateral in this situation, you must stay in the bunker and obviously no nearer the hole.
Right.
And that's for penalty of 1 stroke.
And I can't really go far from here, can I?
Not really. Your other option then, your additional option when in a bunker, is to come back outside, so back on the line, but for 2 penalty strokes.
Okay. So for the everyday golfer, that's actually quite a good option because these lips are so big, it's going to be hard to get out, isn't it?
It really can be a much better option for you.
Nice. Well, I've seen a few people have some struggles in here, so I think I'm just going to take that option and run. Sorry, Rory.
And so to the final hole of one of the most dramatic Open Championships in living memory. Greg Norman.
Caught it thin. It's over, it's through the green, it's out of bounds. Another valiant effort, another dramatic loss in an Open Championship when he almost seemed to have it won.
There's one more thing we need to touch on here on the 18th hole. If you're in contention on the 72nd Sunday afternoon, you've got to keep your eye on a certain out of bounds, don't you, Connor?
You certainly do, George. The out of bounds here on the 18th comes into play very much so. Only 3 yards from the back edge of the green.
Just 3.
So, and this is something that during the 1989 playoff, Greg Norman fell foul to this as his ball just trickled out of bounds.
Wow, and there's that pretty clear markings, isn't it? That is
there
so
is,
close.
yeah. We have this wooden edge that's going to define the boundary here.
All right, well, we'll see how that rough goes. Hopefully it's not too long when the Open comes. But Connor, thanks for taking us around Royal Troon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and to those at home, we can't wait to see you at the 152nd Open.